In this video today, I want to share with us how God will often use dreams to help believers endure the many afflictions, trials, and some of the challenges believers face in life. And I will use the book of Job, and in addition to that, we'll give you one or two scenarios. The book of Job has been mutilated with various teachings concerning Job's trial, what led to what, and what have you. But here's what I want us to extract from the book of Job. Chapter 1, verse 1. We are made to understand that there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect, upright, one that feared God and eschewed evil. So Job was a believer and was consistent in his worship of God. Because in verse 5 we're made to understand, and it was so when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." Thus did Job continually. In essence, Job was steadfast. He was faithful and committed, especially with the sanctification of his children. He had 7 boys and 3 girls. So he will consistently, steadfastly, faithfully pray for the children, prayed with them, shared the scriptures. So here Job is a type of a believer. But how did Satan gain entrance into Job's life and family? Verse 6 and 7. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. The sons of God here, if you look at verse 5, thus did Job continually. Is Job and his children. Job's children plus Job are sons of God. So is Job, his children, his wife, his entire family, sons of God, came to present themselves. Thus did Job in verse 5 continually. He will sanctify them. That means he will bring the family together. He will do what the sanctification in the Old Testament was, where the blood and all of those things were applicable. But now in verse 6, we are made to understand Satan has entered this family. And let me give you a scenario. I worked for a company for a period of 12 years. To start, the company was only 5 in number. It was a private correctional facility. And when the company initially started, it was only 5 in number. And for my own facility, I was the education director, program/education director. The company needed to expand and needed the program directors to come up with some kind of educational program that will be used to offer to the state in order to get contracts. And so we all came up with, each of us came up with this program layout. I had just a simple, God gave me a wisdom to draw up a flowchart. On the day of the presentation, my flowchart was accepted and was now adopted as, statewide educational program for the facilities. Now, eventually, the company used the program and won contracts the company grew from 5 to 32. I was opportunity to visit, if not all of the facilities, quite a number, and we'll set up the programs, initiate these programs, develop the programs, and I'll go to the next facility, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, the company won some contracts with the state. And when they won, the first contract was, I think, about $8 million. And after the contract came annual review for pay raises. And I was called by one of the directors and gave me all these, goodies. You've done excellent. You have done this. You developed this program. We're able to do this and that. Blah blah blah. Your pay raise is $1. At the annual pay raise, I was given a $1 pay raise. I wanted to pay attention. While I did not indicate, my objections to the $1 pay raise, I was irate. Having come this far, this many years, initiated programs that was used to win contract, I expected or anticipated something better. Satan has come in. I remember standing up, walking out of the director's office, fuming. How in the world, after, some of the things I have done for the company, the best the company can do or come up with as a way of pay raise is $1 at the annual pay raise, especially when they won an $8 million contract and a few other contracts that had been won using my program. Make a long story short, one morning I came to the office, walked up to the director's office, handed in my keys, turned in my resignation. There you go, I walked out of the facility. I remember walking out of the facility. That night I was in a dream. And in that dream, I saw a hand that had a gold padlock, a gold lock, locked up the facility behind me with this gold padlock. Once it was locked, I was made to understand that I will not be given the opportunity to re-enter the facility any longer. In essence, this door was closed once and for all. Now, here's where I'm going with this. I allowed Satan to come in. Jesus made us understand Satan is the thief who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And once Satan enters a believer's life, Satan will not stop, but will initiate all these destructive methodologies to try to destroy that believer. This Job did continually, sanctifying his household. There was a day the sons of God came together. Job and his family are the sons of God, not angels here, as some have indicated, came together. Satan came in. When Satan came in, watch this, in verse 7, and the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord, and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? Hast thou considered Kennedy? Because $1 pay raise is what I was given. There was this, why in the world should I be given only one? Never mind, God gave me the wisdom to initiate the programs. God was in charge. When it comes to endurance, when it comes to patience, when it comes to perseverance in the things of God, you must allow Christ to guide you. You must allow God to lead you. This Job did continually. In the next verse, there was a day they came to do this continually, and Satan walked in. Now notice what God said in verse 12. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he had is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord and destroyed everything Job had, plus his children. Spared the wife. But here is where dream comes in. In chapter 2, look at verse 1. And again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. Now scroll down to verse 4 and 5. And Satan, in verse 3. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? God asked Satan again. Let's have an understanding here. This is an oxymoron. In essence, you must understand, God and Satan are not classmates. God does not sit down and has this dialogue with Satan. Have you done this? Are you going to do this? Are you not going to do that? The Bible said all scriptures are given by the inspiration of God, so that the writer of Job was inspired by God. But the mode of communication, how he communicated the writings, God has nothing to do with it. God inspired him, but some of the things written in Job was as a result of the thinking of the person, the author of the book of Job. In essence, in this discussion here, and the Lord said unto Satan, where are you coming from? As if God did not know where Satan was coming from. And the Lord said, Have you considered Job? As if God did not know Satan's intent. And there was another day when the sons of God and Satan came. God and Satan are not friends. Satan don't even know God. The first time Satan saw God was when Jesus came. Even then, he didn't even know who Jesus was, because he saw Jesus as the son of, but never saw him as God. Satan has never seen God. That's for another day. And so in this account, in chapter 2, pay attention. And Satan answered the Lord and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man had will he give for his life. But put forth thy hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee in thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. So that word God spoke is the word salvation for you and I as a believer. In essence, Satan may have access to the things that we have, possessions, material possessions, and what have you. But to take the life of a believer, Satan is restricted. Is Christ in you? The word here, save his life, means salvation. But now the endurance comes from when Satan began to destroy everything belonging to Job, to when God now came in abruptly and stopped the affliction and restored back to Job. In all of these, God's word comes to the believer. And oftentimes God will use a dream, and he give you a nugget here. He give you this dream and give you that dream. In my case, like I mentioned, I saw a hand with a gold padlock locked up the prison doors. locked up the facility when I walked out, and I was made to understand not to go in there. But rather, another dream came for another job offer. And then subsequent dreams for another job offer, do this and do that. In essence, God using dream, I endured that phase of my life where Satan came in and attempt to destroy, to steal, and to kill. And so God will communicate to you and I by way of dream to help the believer endure, remain steadfast, be patient in whatever it is the believer is going through in life, whatever the afflictions, whatever the challenges. If you look at the account of Job, everything he had, his possessions were taken, his children killed, and then he was afflicted. But Job endured. James, in James chapter 5, verse 11, wrote this: Behold, we count them happy which endure. You have heard of the patience of Job. He endured, he was patient, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. In your endurance, in whatever you're going through, God will come in and abruptly stop it and will restore you back to what God has for you. I hope I've communicated. God bless you.